Scoring started early in Bridgewater on Saturday when the Quakers scored on their first possession via a 1-yard touchdown run by Zach Halbert. But the Bridgewater Eagles responded on their first try when Carlos Gonzalez hit Chris Curry with a 13-yard touchdown pass. Then it was time for a little bit of defense as the Quakers forced running back Darren McKenzie to cough up the football, and it was Satir Stevenson who picked up the loose ball and returned it to Paydirt for a 13-7 Quakers advantage. The Bridgewater defense wouldn't be outdone when Dominic Jeter stepped in front of a pass and returned it 9 yards for a touchdown and a 14-13 lead. That would open the door for 52 unanswered points for the Eagles, which would continue on their next possession, which came off of this fumble on the ensuing kickoff from the Jeter touchdown. Alex Collins made the hit and Cliff Woodard recovered the loose ball. Anthony Carter ran it in from 9 yards out to give the Quakers a 21-13 edge. The last score of the half would come on an unorthodox play for both teams as the Quakers attempted a fake punt, but the pass attempt floated in the air and sailed on the passer and was intercepted by return man Tyler Slayton and returned 47 yards for a touchdown, giving the Eagles a 35-13 halftime advantage. Bridgewater would score 3 more touchdowns in the second half, including a 41-yard weaving run by Willie Logan, helping the Eagles to even their conference record at 1-1. There was plenty of scoring in Emory on Saturday, and special teams will play a major role throughout the contest, especially in the first quarter when Hampden-Sydney scored 19 unanswered points, and it began on the opening kickoff when Joseph Vaughn was hit and fumbled, and Holton Walker recovered at the 25-yard line. 5 plays later, Evan King barreled in from 1 yard out and a 7-0 HSC lead. Later in the first quarter on a Hampden-Sydney punt, Devon Ross muffed the ball and it was recovered by Nate Matthews at the 10-yard line. 3 plays after that, Kurt Rowley found the end zone from 1 yard away and a 13-0 Tigers advantage. Then Travis Lane connected with Sean Cavanaugh on a touchdown pass, but after a second straight missed extra point, Hampden-Sydney led 19-0. Emory Henry would get on the board early in the second quarter when Kyle Bodden lateraled to Chad Williams, who then fired a 24-yard touchdown pass to Corey Ware. Kirk Rowley responded with his second touchdown, this one from 7 yards, and restored Hampden-Sydney's 19-point lead. Emory Henry would get its second touchdown when Bodden found Preston Jennings from 6 yards away. Preston Jennings had an ODAC record 21 receptions on the day. William Pearl brought Emory Henry to within 29-24 in the third quarter. After David Prizier hit a 35-yard field goal for Hampden-Sydney, the Tigers' defense got in the act when Zach Morgan intercepted this pass and took it down to the EHC 21-yard line. Lane then found Cavanaugh for a second time in the game, but again they missed the extra point, and that would be the final score for the Tigers, leaving them ahead 38-24. Emory Henry would score again, this time with only 1 minute left in the fourth quarter, when Bodden found Ross from 16 yards away, but a bad snap caused a missed extra point, leaving them down 38-30. They recovered the ensuing onside kick, giving them one last shot and 1 minute 6 seconds to go to make it happen. Kyle Bodden connected with Ross on an 8-yard touchdown pass as time expired, leaving just a 2-point conversion to force a tie. Bodden found William Pearl outside the numbers, but Pearl was met by a host of Tigers and stopped before he could get to the end zone. Randolph-Macon played host to a seesaw contest on Saturday that featured 5 lead changes, and it all got started with Josh Storm's 20-yard field goal midway through the first quarter. Washington Elite responded on the ensuing possession when Luke Heinsohn darted through the center of the defense and sprinted 77 yards to Paydirt. The Generals led just 6-3 after their 2-point try was intercepted. Randolph-Macon's rushing attack got into the act when Thaddeus Scruggs ran 13 yards over the left side and found the painted dirt. That was followed up by a 14-yard touchdown pass from Zach Nacarado to Vance Hendren, giving Randolph-Macon a 17-6 lead midway through the second quarter. Washington Elite got its passing game rolling when Charlie Westfall found Brett Murray over the middle, but Murray fumbled the ball and kicked it forward, and it looked set to be recovered by Randolph-Macon, but Alex Evans dove on it for the Generals, setting up a 2-yard touchdown run for Heinsohn, his second of the day, and cutting W&L's deficit to 17-12. That 5 points would be quickly erased when Westfall connected with Russell Stewart on a 50-yard touchdown pass, giving W&L a 19-17 lead, but that advantage would be short-lived when Storm connected on a big 49-yard field goal for a 20-19 lead. Just as the third quarter clock went to zeros, Nacarado found Christian Cook in the back of the end zone on a 12-yard touchdown, but Brett Murray tied it right back up for the Generals with an 8-yard untouchdown run over the right side and a good 2-point conversion. Randolph-Macon looked to try and continue trading touchdowns, but Rob Look sacked Nacarado, making the Yellow Jackets settle for a 29-yard field goal by Storm, giving RMC a 30-27 lead. Washington Elite flashed his passing game one more time as Westfall found Alex Evans over the middle, and he sprinted 62 yards deep into Macon territory down to the 6-yard line. 2 plays later, Heinsohn scored his 3rd touchdown via a 5-yard run up the middle. Randolph-Macon had one more chance to get themselves back in the lead, but Nakarada was intercepted by Jake Pelton. Catholic traveled to Newport News on Saturday to cap its non-conference schedule against Apprentice School, and it was the Builders who got things going with Chris Virgin, who ran 69 yards for a touchdown and an early 7-0 lead. Catholic didn't score until 17 seconds before the half when Greg Cordovari found Tanner Keefe with a 4-yard touchdown pass, tying the score 7-all going into the locker room. That started 3 straight scores for the Cardinals as Brian Gongaware added a 23-yard field goal on CUA's first possession of the 3rd quarter, and then it was Cordovari running in from 1 yard away for a 17-7 lead midway through the frame. Apprentice added 2 scores after that, first on a safety with 3:25 to go in the 3rd quarter, and then it was Paul Morgan running in from 7 yards at the outset of the 4th quarter, bringing the Builders to within 2 at 17-15. Catholic added a little bit of cushion late in the 4th frame when James Facillo returned an interception 40 yards for a touchdown and a 24-15 final score.